going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get into the ranking, there's actually a big shout out in mind to the person who's helping me rank these franchises, Chris over from Filmstock. His channel is almost to 400 subscribers. It would be really awesome if we could help out and get him there. Make sure to go subscribe over to the Filmstock YouTube channel. The link will be in the description down below. Make sure to comment down below your ranking of these 20 popular franchises. With all that said, enjoy our ranking of the top 20 most popular franchises. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm actually really pumped to be doing this video because I've never taken part in a tier ranking video. I've only watched them, so this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be mad fun. So these are 20 franchises we deem to be the most popular. It's not every franchise out there, but 20 big ones, at least everyone's heard about for sure. So if we hop into our tiers, we have amazing, then we have great, then we have good, then we have meh, then we have bad. And I think we're going to have to compromise here, so we're going to see which ones land where. And let's go ahead and get this thing started with Jurassic Park. What are your thoughts on this franchise?
All right, so if we were talking Jurassic Park, just Jurassic Park, it'd probably be an amazing movie, because it is. But each sequel gets progressively worse. I mean, the second one is, like, not that great. The third one's garbage. Jurassic World is not great. And then I never even saw the new Jurassic World. So it's either meh or bad for me. I mean, I do. Really? Jurassic World has some redeemable moments, so I'd probably go meh.
Oh,
but obviously,
okay, so,
I'd be totally fine going bad. It's your call.
I'm not fine going bad. But so Jurassic Park, and I'm a fan of the Jurassic World movies. I think they're kind of silly and dumb, kind of like those dumb action movies, and I dig them. I like Bryce Dallas Howard, and I really like Chris Pratt. I love Jurassic Park 3 with a Spinosaurus. I think that is so badass and cool. How do you not? I mean, as a little kid, I go back to my little kid days when that Spinosaurus kills that T-Rex. That is legendary in my book, you know. So for me, Jurassic Park is and the whole franchise amazing to great. You're mad bad. Are we meeting in the middle like good? Where are we going?
I'll go good just because Spielberg directs the second one, so like it is a decent enough movie. And then I had a fun enough time with Jurassic World.
Yeah. Did he direct the first one as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that qualifies as good. I mean, the first Jurassic Park alone is come on. I mean, come on. We'll give you. I'll compromise with you coming up soon. Next up, we have Twilight, and yes, we included Twilight. Several of their movies did make the $1 billion club. That you have to do this. Every girl in the world will tell you they love the books. They're Team Howard or Team Edward or Team Jacob, so has to be included on here. Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob, Chris?
Team Edward all day.
Oh, get out of here! I was Team Wolfie, boy. Jacob, my guy. I don't watch these movies a lot, but I don't hate them, so I'm good for meh. But I think you're leaning towards bad.
Yeah, I mean they're all bad movies.
Yeah.
But we could go meh. It's just I think they're all bad. So.
All right, we'll go bad because you compromised with me on Jurassic Park, and trust me, Twilight movies, they're not good movies. They're just, I don't think they're horrible. So
yeah,
Twilight, I'm bad. I think my girlfriend might be a little bit mad at me, but other than that, I think we'll be fine. Next up is the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. I know me and you, how we feel about the trilogy. We love it, but after that trilogy, man, it goes, it dives deep down, man. It's sad, quite frankly. So
no, yeah, it really is. And as much as I absolutely adore that the first three movies, that trilogy, after that, like you said, there's a massive drop off. So I mean, we have to take into account the whole franchise. So like, if it was just the trilogy, I'd probably go great. But as a whole, I'd probably just have to go good, just because the last two, if you're looking at a scale, you've got these three, it balances out at good.
Yeah, it really. I mean, I think Curse of the Black Pearl is one of the best adventure movies like ever. You know, I love it so much. And then Dead Man's Chest, I might like even more. And then At World's End, I think is epic. But as we said, the Strange Tides and whatever. I mean, they're
Dead
awful.
Men Tell No Tales is atrocious.
Atrocious. Capitan Salazar. I mean, get out of here, man. So, I will watch the first three Pirates. I'll show them to my kids one day. I love the first three, but as we said, man, judging as a whole, I mean, I would if it was just a trilogy, I'd safe to say to go to amazing. That's how much I love them. So, It's
Great
kind of
movie.
sad how they just go way downhill after that, but they make a lot of money, so I guess they're gonna keep making them. Next up, Michael Bay's Transformer franchise. Not all Michael Bay, but started with them. So I like the first Transformers, and I tolerate the rest and don't really like the rest. So what are your thoughts on this one?
So yeah, the first three Transformers actually I enjoyed watching so much when I was younger.
Sure.
I acknowledge they're not great movies, but I had a fun time
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
The fourth one is one of the worst theatrical experiences I've had. It was so awful and just drawn out and boring. It was a really hot day too, so I was in a bad mood. I never saw I never saw the fifth one, and I haven't seen Bumblebee if we even count that.
Uh-huh.
But I'd probably go meh between like meh and bad. So it's your call.
Yeah. I'm good for meh, and I hate to admit it, but I'm a pretty big fan of the Revenge of the Fallen movie and Dark of the Moon. Because I haven't watched them in years, but as a kid, I loved those. I thought it was hilarious. And when the Sector 7 guy, he's like, I'm directly below the enemy scrotum. I think that's just hilarious,
Dude,
and
that
that's Michael Bay at his best. Nut jokes and freaking action. That's just what he
Revenge of the
does.
Fallen, there's that line
Um,
where that one guy's like, how many times can you get tased in the nuts till you can't have kids? It's just like, why was this put in the movie? But at the same time, it's
yeah.
kind of funny.
I remember my mom and we saw this movie together, and my mom thinks this movie's great. She loved it. She laughed so hard. I mean, nut jokes are hilarious, dude. I don't care if you're anyone. I think they're hilarious. So, I think it takes a little too much flack, but especially with like the last night when Mark Wahlberg came in and he's like all of a sudden all friends with these guys. Like never said what happened to Shia, and Mark Wahlberg came in with a daughter who's very good looking, like always, like in the Transformers movies. But Mark Wahlberg out of nowhere is like, "Hey B, how's it going?" I'm like, it took Sam to save the world and two full movies to start calling him B before it wasn't just Bumblebee. I was like, what is going? It seemed weird when I watched it. I was like, this is awful. Like it was just horrendous. I remember. So, uh, Transformers. I mean, I think we're gonna probably get another Bumblebee. If you haven't seen Bumblebee, I'm not a fan of Bumblebee. So yeah. Anyways, I digress. The Hunger Games franchise. Interesting to hear your thoughts on this one.
All right, so I really do love that first Hunger Games movie. I remember reading the book like in a few days leading up to the theatrical release so that I
Oh
could
yeah.
go see it with my mom. And then I was hyped for Catching Fire. I did the same thing. I liked that movie a lot too. Where this franchise really does fall off for me is in the Mockingjay. It should have been one movie. I don't like how they split it into two at all. I think they're very boring and they lack an actual Hunger Games, so therefore they're not as good. So while I
Yeah.
find the first two really entertaining, I don't care for the last two. So I'd probably go like good or meh. Probably good just because I really like the first two.
Yeah, I love Catching Fire even more just because it's like the champions version of it, like everyone who won, and then like they kind of teamed up together and said, screw this, we're gonna beat the games together. First Hunger Games I thought was great, really ahead of its time kind of, and I love the books as well, and I love Catching Fire so much, so it has to go good. I remember one time I watched Catching Fire like 4 times in 2 days. I was like, whenever these came out, I loved Catching Fire so much. I love Sam Claflin's character. But as you said, Mockingjay is just a snooze fest, dude. It's so bad.
Hmm.
It seems to be a reoccurring theme with these franchises that keep making money, keep prolonging. It's like eventually there's just going to be a dumpster fire. And it's kind of what we got with Pirates, Jurassic Park, and Mockingjay that are all having to be in the good with some redeeming qualities, but overall not. So,
For sure, man. Yeah.
yeah. The Bourne franchise, Matt Damon. Where are
All
you
right,
going with this
so
guy?
I absolutely love the Bourne trilogy, like Identity, Supremacy, and Ultimatum.
Oh yeah,
One of the best trilogies like in recent years. So I
sure.
love that. Legacy, the one with Jeremy Renner, not a really big fan of at all. It's really not a good movie. And then Jason Bourne is just like very forgettable. So I mean, I'd probably have to go good. That trilogy alone is good, but the other two are mad movies.
Sure. I don't rewatch these movies a lot, so I'm just gonna go with what you're thinking. Good. I haven't rewatched the movie since I was a young lad. I never saw the newest Jason Bourne, or maybe I did, but I don't really remember. And the Jeremy Renner one, I thought was like, what happened to Matt Damon? Is what I thought the whole time. I was like, why is Jeremy Renner? Who's this guy? Where's Matt
Yeah.
Damon? So, uh, yeah. To me, it's not movies I watch all the time, but if you're in a mood for a spy movie, I guess these ones are definitely up there to watch. The Fast and Furious. Sean Chandler calls these the Taco Bell movies. um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a diehard Fast and Furious fan, dude. I really am. I love them.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. No shame. For me, I've seen them all except for Hobbs and Shaw, which is technically a part of the franchise.
Sure.
I really do like 5, 6, 7, and 8's alright, but like 2 is not very good. One's pretty good, and Tokyo Drift's fine, but they're not movies I rewatch. So like,
Sure.
I think they're good, entertaining movies, but I don't think that they're anything great or amazing at all.
Yeah. I call these popcorn movies, just fun action movies you put on when you watch them. You kind of have fun when you watch them. I remember I rewatched these last year leading up to Hobbs and Shaw,
Hmm.
and Tokyo Drift is incredibly just boring. But like when the trailer came out for Fast 9 and they said John Cena was Dom's brother, dude, I got hyped all over again. I was like, yeah. Even though it
I
doesn't
didn't
make
like that,
sense.
but I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes when it comes out.
It's probably gonna be bad, but it'll probably gross like $1 billion. So they're gonna
Yeah.
keep making them until they don't anymore. But like, it's kind of weird to do that for the Fast Nine because Dom is so family oriented. He's like Mr. Family Guy, and he doesn't talk to his own brother. Doesn't make sense. It's kind of stupid. As this whole franchise is. I mean, Fast Five is my favorite, and the scene when they're have the vaults tied to 2 chargers and they're
Mhm.
just smashing buildings and it's really dumb, but it's so badass. So for that, dude, it has to go good. It has to go good. So especially when Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson fight, who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
such
it's
a
one of
good
my
scene.
such a great scene. The Rocky franchise, and they were including Rocky and Creed in here. I'm a
Mhm.
diehard Creed fan, and I like the
Me
first
too, dude.
couple Rockies. Yeah, it's unpopular. I prefer the Creed over the Rocky. I think it's just because it's my era. I
Mhm.
dig Creed movies so much, man. Ah,
I mean, I love the first 2 Creeds, and I hope we get a third. I don't know if we will, but the first Rocky probably like in my top 25 all time, just because of
sure.
how impactful it was on me at a young
Oh
age.
yeah.
Like it made me want to do stuff. Like it really motivated me. I think the first time I watched it, I was like, I want to get a punching bag. It was just so good. I wanted to start working out, pumping some iron,
Yeah.
as they say. I love the first 4 Rocky movies. I really do. Watched them a ton growing up. Rocky 5 is a disaster by all means, but Rocky
Oh,
Balboa is really good, and then Creed 1 and 2 are really dang good. So I'd probably say this is a great franchise.
I have to agree. Um, but this is where my number one thing has to ask you. Are you a Creed 2 montage in the desert or a Rocky 4 type of Drago? Which one are you? Which montage are you? Rocky 4 or Creed 2?
Um, I mean that Creed 2 one, I've only seen that movie twice, I think, but the Rocky 4 one where he's just like running up the mountain and he goes, "Drago!" I love that. So I mean, I might have to go with that.
Okay. I'm more of a Creed 2 guy. I love the score in it, and what's his name? Victor Drago is just jacked like a brick shithouse, and
Mm.
Michael B. Jordan goes into the desert and he goes to hell, and you know what? I thought it was great, and I thought Sylvester Stallone was much better in the Creeds than I did in the Rockies. Years of experience, more acting. I think in the Creeds he really is like the stand. I think he got nominated for the first Creed, an Oscar, right, or at least Golden Globe.
Stallone, yeah, he should have won the Oscar,
Yeah, I
but he
thought so
didn't.
too. Yeah, he won the Golden Globe for it, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, Golden Globes are pointless, but I
Hmm.
digress. I think the Rocky franchise is great. I'm excited to go back and rewatch them all again soon. The
Definitely.
Die Hard franchise, one of the best Christmas movies of all time.
Hmm. I mean, that first Die
uh,
Hard movie, another one of my favorites. I watched it back to back this
okay,
past December. Just like I've seen the movie more than once, obviously, but I
sure.
watched it and I was like, I need that thrill again, so I'm gonna watch it again. And I
Yeah.
rewatched the Die Hard trilogy, which I really do enjoy. I think they're all really solid. I'd say Die Hard with a Vengeance is my second favorite Die Hard movie. You got Samuel L.
Yeah.
Jackson. But
Yeah.
Die Hard 2 is fine. It's probably an above average action movie. I never got to see Live Free or Die Hard. I've seen part of it on TV, but A Good Day to Die Hard is trash. So I'd probably say, based on how much
Oh,
I enjoy the first 3, I'd go good.
isn't it a good day to Die Hard when he crashes a helicopter car into a helicopter?
I think that might be the fourth one, but I know that his son. I honestly don't remember, but I know
Is
that
it good
his
day to Die
son.
Hard with his son?
Yes.
Okay, that one's trash. That one is,
Yeah.
I can agree.
Yeah.
I forget which one is. There's a helicopter crashing
I
down. He
think that's
crashes
the
the car.
fourth one. The fourth
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane.
that one's good. I remember watching that as my family as a kid, and I was like, I want to be John McClane, like
Mhm.
yippee mother.
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So I like Die Hard. I don't rewatch them a lot. I was gonna rewatch the Die Hard, the Christmas one, because I've only seen that once back in December. I never got to it. So you're thinking good?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
what holds it back from greatness is that 4 and 5 aren't as good as the first three, in
Sure.
my opinion.
Sure.
If one of
The
those two was
X-Men
a little better, I think it would be
franchise.
great.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I
Oh,
just said if one
sure.
of those two was better, it'd be great. But yeah,
Yeah. The X-Men franchise.
this is like, are we counting like Logan and everything, Deadpool?
Oh, you have to. Otherwise, this is a dumpster fire of a franchise.
All right, so we'll start at the beginning. X-Men, it's fine. X2, really good. It's like a really highly rated comic book movie for a lot of people. I've never been one who loved it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
X-Men 3 is kind of forgettable. Origins Wolverine is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, honestly.
Really?
Disgusting. Yeah, Origins
Oh,
Wolverine is trash. With
I thought it was
the
good.
with Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, the first one.
Okay, don't get me messed up. That is bad. I can't. Leave Schreiber, is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Saber
I
Tooth.
thought that was his brother. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. Don't get me wrong. I thought introducing Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool was awful, but I thought there's things that worked in this movie, and him having like his brother, dude, that was badass to me. I was like, yeah, I dig it, brother like. But Deadpool was, yeah. Don't get me mad. Yeah. Whew.
And then
Yeesh.
this franchise really picks up with First Class and Days of Future Past because I love those movies. Like those two are probably my favorite X-Men movies, excluding Deadpool and like Wolverine solo movies. I really like those. Then you've got what I have, Apocalypse, which is decent. Like it's not awful, but it's not that great. I
I'm
never
not.
saw Dark Phoenix. Never saw Dark Phoenix.
I watched it last year, and I'll tell you this: it's not as bad as everyone made it out to seem. It really isn't. I mean, people love to hate on this movie because of all the production problems it had. When I watched it, maybe it went in with really low expectations. I dug it. I thought it was good. I liked the Phoenix story, and I thought X-Men Last Stand. I think this was a much better step above than the Last Stand. If you haven't seen it, I'm not saying go buy it, but I'm saying it may be worth checking out, maybe worth your time. So, um, yeah,
Then
yeah, go ahead.
you've got the Wolverine, which is it's pretty solid, but Logan is great, like a really really great movie. I think that Hugh
Oh,
Jackman and Patrick Stewart should have gotten Oscar nominations.
and I think James Mangold he got nominated for screenplay, right?
Yes, yeah,
Which I thought he should have got nominated for director, best picture, not even screenplay. I thought screenplay was kind of weird. He got nominated for it. But Patrick Stewart at least for best supporting actor. I thought he was my favorite part of the whole movie. And
yeah.
that little
She'd
that
be
little
like
girl too. She was good.
Logan. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then
He's
you
just
can't
so
forget
funny
the
good.
Deadpool movies, which I love both the Deadpool movies. I think they're hilarious.
I like Deadpool 2 more than Deadpool 1.
I like the first one, but I mean that's not that hot of a take because I know that
Yeah.
Andy, who I do my channel with,
Yeah.
he prefers Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I rewatched Deadpool 2 more, and I think the Deadpool movies they dwarf besides Logan. I think Logan's the best X-Men, but then Deadpool 2 are right under it.
Yeah.
I enjoy X-Men franchise a good bit. It brings me back to my childhood. I'm willing to go great, even though there's some stinkers in there, but I'm okay to go good.
I think that I mean, Logan is a great movie. The Deadpool movies are great, and then I really like, what did I say?
Days of Future Past.
First Class and Days of Future Past. So that's 5 movies right there. X2 is good, so that's 6. The stinkers are Origins Wolverine and The Last Stand's not great. So I mean,
And
I think
Wolverine
that
too. There's another
yeah,
Wolverine movie in there,
that's
which
true.
I
Yeah,
think is
yeah.
okay. And then Dark Phoenix as well, which I think is okay. So only ones I don't, and I like X-Men Origins. You don't, so that's what's funny.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I'm willing to go great because of the whole legacy of it. But
sure.
I think that it's just good. But I'd be willing to go great.
I'm good with good. 'Cause I have this. I don't rewatch these movies a lot. Only one I rewatch a bunch is Logan. That's the only one I rewatch at least once a year. So
Yeah.
I wanted to go good. All right, the most divisive one of the day, Star Wars. And I know how we all feel. Everyone's gonna get angry here, but the original trilogy is great. The prequel trilogy has its hiccups, and the sequel trilogy has its hiccups. So, where are you leaning towards, friend?
I think we'd be remiss if this was not put in the amazing category simply because of the legacy it's had not only on pop culture but on every person who's ever watched a movie. I mean, the original trilogy was the start of everything. It was George Lucas's vision, and like I'm pretty sure most people who are alive have seen this movie, have seen that trilogy. And then the prequels, love them or hate them, they had a clear trajectory, and it was also George Lucas's story of how Anakin turned into Darth Vader. And I mean, sure, the CGI now doesn't hold up, but the story's there, and I think that it's while the dialogue might not be the best, I think that conceptually it's extremely well written. And then even the sequel trilogy, which I've had my fair share of hate for, I don't care for The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. I really do like The Force Awakens, and it's still Star Wars at the end of the day. I can put my hatred aside for the stupid decisions they make, and it's still Star Wars. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Even throwing Solo, which I'm not crazy about at all, is probably my least favorite Star Wars movie, and Rogue One, which has a really compelling final act. It's still Star Wars, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. When I go to Disneyland and I go to why am I blanking on the name? Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge, and I go there, it makes me turn into a little kid again. And I think all Star Wars is good. I think some are worse than others. I think Attack of Clones and Phantom Menace are definitely lower tier. But I still rewatch them. I still remember watching them as a kid. I still remember when I found out as a little kid when I watched Revenge of the Sith that Anakin was Darth Vader. I wanted to cry. I was so like, what? What is that? What does he mean? And then Padme dies in child labor. Everything about it, this whole franchise, man, from back in the 70s or 80s it started, right?
Yeah, 77, yeah.
The Star Wars A New Hope still holds up. The special effects, the characters, 1977 for a movie to still hold up the way it does, like this. I mean, I know A New Hope is your favorite, and it's still so good. When I rewatched it, I was like, Han Solo is like my guy. If I could be any movie character, it probably would be Han Solo with Chewbacca on a Millennium Falcon. So I agree. I think Star Wars, when I think about it, it doesn't make me mad ever. It kind of makes me happy. I'm like, dude, I want to watch Star Wars right now. It makes me feel good. I love Star Wars. I love it with my whole heart. So
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
First amazing of the day. Look at that. All right. Ice Age. Kind of a big step down for a franchise. Ice Age thoughts.
Yeah, so I really did enjoy the first 3 Ice Age movies when I was younger.
Sure.
But that being said, I haven't rewatched them in probably 10 years. And like the 4th one, I think Continental Drift was the last one I watched. And I want to say there was a 5th one that I just never watched.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'd go meh. I'd go meh.
Yeah.
Because it's not bad. It's just like, it's just meh, you know?
Kind of there. Yeah. As a kid, I loved Sid, and I still kind of do. He's so stupid. And the watermelon scene, I think it's in the first Ice Age, when he's stealing the watermelons. Doom on you! Doom on you! You know what I'm talking about?
I don't even remember
It's really
that.
dumb. Oh, okay. That's one of my favorite scenes in an animated movie. For an animated franchise, I think this is good. But the 2 other animated franchises we have on here, I think this looks like crap compared to those. At least a couple of them, one of them, you know. So I think Ice Age I'll show my kids one day, and I'm sure they'll like it. But as they get older, generally animated movies get better as they get older. These ones seem to kind of stay the same. They kind of mean like, oh, they're made for little kids. That's just the way I look at it. So Ice Age is fine. Nothing too spectacular. All right, this is the one I've been pretty excited to talk about. The MCU. Pretty sure it's bad, right?
Yeah, just go ahead and put it there, and we'll move on. No, hands down, amazing. Yeah, the legacy that it has, you know. We've really poured out our thoughts like so much that there's not much we can even add to it besides the fact that I was nearly in tears during multiple scenes in Endgame, whether that be because my heart was broken because I love these characters and it's the end of it all, or if it was just pure joy. Like when a finale does that to you, you just know that the whole franchise is amazing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think, again, it's kind of like Star Wars. I don't think there's a bad movie. I prefer a lot more movies than, say, Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel is lower tier, but I don't think it's awful. I think that it made $1 billion. I think it's a really well-made film. The special effects, everything it put into it's great. But I prefer some movies more than others. I like every franchise on this, but MCU, I'm an MCUer for life. It's my personal favorite franchise of all time, and there's some of my favorite movies on here. But MCU, from Civil War to Infinity War to all the emotions this franchise has put you through, to laugh, to cry, to Stan Lee, it makes me like emotional thinking about it. I mean, I love the MCU. I love it so much. All right, let's just flip a 180. DCEU.
All right, so here we go, folks. Um, Man of Steel, I've seen it like twice, and I think that it's a good movie. I really do. I think it's a good movie. Anything above good, I disagree. I think the score is fantastic, but the movie
Hmm.
itself is probably too long, in my opinion.
It is.
Um, Batman vs Superman, I've never understood the hype for. Granted, I have not rewatched. I've never gone back and rewatched it, so I haven't even seen the Ultimate Edition, which everyone, praises. I don't know
I
why.
do.
I guess it's better. I guess it's better. What do you think of it?
I love the Ultimate Edition, and you know what's crazy is when I bought this movie, I've seen it. I watched it 3 times now. I've only watched the Ultimate Edition, so I don't even remember the regular edition. But when I bought the Ultimate Edition, I loved it, and I am different than you on this. I know I actually quite enjoy most of these movies. I know you don't, so that's why it is. It's a nice one.
Yeah, Suicide Squad's my least favorite movie of all time. I'll just
That's
be
not
really
that hot of a
blunt with
take.
everyone.
Yeah, not that
The
hot of a take.
trailer had my expectations. Like, it looked like this really cool, like, Guardians of the Galaxy in DC. It had
Yeah,
Will Smith, Mario Robbie. It had Jared Leto, who I don't like, but it's still kind of a big name.
yeah.
You throw them all in there, and like, it's the first Joker since Heath Ledger in live action and all this
Oh yeah.
stuff. And it's a disastrous movie, just an awful, awful movie. I don't think I could rewatch it. And then you've got Justice League, which comes out the next year, and that movie is disastrous as well. So like,
Yeah.
right there, they lost me. And I won't lie, I can't speak to the rest of them because I haven't seen the rest. Wonder Woman, sorry, Wonder Woman. I love Wonder Woman. That's the best DCEU movie. But after that, I haven't seen Shazam. I haven't seen Aquaman. I haven't seen Birds of Prey. So,
Okay.
Trevor, you have the
Um,
floor.
I will take the floor. Thank you very much, Chris. Um, I disagree. I think the problem with these movies is too much studio interference. Obviously, we're getting the Snyder Cut on HBO Max next year. That's a topic for another day. But the DCEU Warner Brothers is like up their ass, won't let them make a movie, and that's the demise because you have some iconic characters from Batman to Superman to Wonder Woman. As a kid, that's who I dressed up as. I didn't dress up as Captain America or Iron Man. I dressed up as Batman and Superman. And that's what I had to think about. And my little kid self would be kicking me if I put this movie anywhere else than this franchise, everyone else than good. I love Birds of Prey. I thought it was a fantastic movie. You need to check it out. I love Man of Steel. I like Wonder Woman. Justice League is an abomination of a film, but I still enjoy it. And Suicide Squad, I think of course, has its issues. I think it's very boring, but I still like it. I still like a lot of these movies, and I think Shazam was sweet. So you're like awful. Like if there's like 50 piles of crap, and then it'd go under that probably for you. But I'm not like good. So you thinking bad or meh?
Um, well, based on the movies I've seen as a whole, like Wonder Woman would be great, but the rest would be bad to meh. So I'd go meh. But granted, like I said, it's really your call because you're the one who's seen more of the movies. So it's up to you.
Um, I want to go good, but I'll go meh just for the sake of it. Just because you got to watch them all, then maybe one day we'll
Yeah.
revisit this video and be like, that's going to go up. Maybe one day.
hmm
Indiana Jones. So I haven't seen these movies in years. Floor is yours. We'll put it where you want. So I got
All
to go
right.
and pick.
So Raiders of the Lost Ark is my top 5 favorite films of all time. I think it's the definitive adventure movie, and arguably it might be Spielberg's most iconic movie. I mean, I seriously love it. Seen it countless times. And then you got The
Sure.
Temple of Doom, which is tonally different as it takes like the really dark turn, but it's still a really solid adventure. A lot darker though, trust me. But then The Last Crusade returns, and it's about finding the Holy Grail, and you get Sean Connery as Indy's dad, and that is a lot of people's favorite Indiana Jones movie, and it's on par with Raiders almost. So like the
Sure.
trilogy is fantastic, like really really good movies. And then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, it's clearly the worst, but I think the movie gets unnecessary hate. Like there's some stupid decisions made with like aliens and the CGI crap, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's at its heart, it's still an Indiana Jones movie directed by Spielberg, and it's got that adventure classic feel to it. So I still do enjoy that movie, but I can't go amazing simply because Kingdom of the Crystal Skull it really holds it back a little bit. It's really a great. I'd put it in great because I think that it is one of the great franchises. And who knows if they make an Indy 5, it could be amazing. But we'll have to wait
Yeah.
and see.
All right. Great. It is. All right. This are we doing just Lord of the Rings? We doing all Middle Earth for this next one?
Middle Earth, I think.
Then it can't go amazing because the Hobbit movies are. So people who know me or have been following this channel for a while know I'm a die-hard Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, Return of the King, Fellowship, and Two Towers are 3 of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Return of the King is back and forth number 1 for me. I love these movies so much. So when we got a prequel trilogy and we got the Hobbit movies, of course I wasn't excited because these movies are untouchable to me, unguardable. You can't even look at them the same, you know. And the Hobbit movies, I think, it's a huge step down. I don't think anyone can disagree unless your name's AJ. But other than that, I don't think many people can disagree that the Hobbit movies are an incredible step down. I enjoy them, but Lord of the Rings is perfect, and the Hobbit is good. So that's where I'm at, and I'm the Middle Earth guy. So where are you looking at?
Yeah, so bouncing off what you said, I mean, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is amazing, right? So if it was just that, we'd put it in amazing, we'd have moved on to the next category. But when you count all 6 films in the Middle-earth saga, you've got the first 2 Hobbit movies, which are fine. Like, they're good movies. And I think the Battle of the Five Armies is just, like, it's not unwatchable, but it's not rewatchable. Like, it's so boring. Yeah. It's built up to be this Battle of Five Armies epic, and it's boring. I can't even recall a lot that happens in that movie. However, based on how truly great the first 3 are, the Lord of the Rings movies, and then I really do enjoy the first 2 Hobbits, even though they're not really good. Sure. They're just like solid movies. I'd probably go great with the Middle-earth saga. Yeah.
I have to go great because but where I come from is like Lord of the Rings is, like I said, untouchable to me. Those are amazing. And the Hobbit Unexpected Journey, I thought was fine. Desolation of Smaug is that's the best of the Hobbit movies. I think everyone can agree on that. Benedict Cumberbatch's Smaug is great. Battle of the Five Armies, I enjoy the character Bard quite a bit, played by Luke Evans, and he kind of gets a spotlight in this movie, but I think the CGI looks horrible in this movie. I mean, it's like Justice League bad. You know, like Azog the Defiler, the main orc, who's not in the book at all. They kind of tossed him in here to be the leader. And this whole movie is made off one of the smallest chapters in the book. It's pretty insane that they made a whole movie. I think if Desolation of Smaug just had 30 more minutes for a final battle, I think it would have been much better off. But anyways, kind of breaks my heart to put it in great, but it has to go there. Harry Potter.
Are we doing like the whole Wizarding World? Because I haven't seen the Fantastic Beasts movies.
I haven't either, so let's just call it Harry Potter.
Yeah, let's just call it Harry Potter. No one wants to talk about Fantastic Beasts anyway. Harry Potter, so I hadn't seen these for the first time since about 2 years ago, and I fell in love with these movies. I really did. The score by John Williams it's one of the most iconic scores in all of movies. I mean, if you hear it, you get chills all over yourself. It's just so powerful. And seeing his story, how it's like a new year at Hogwarts each year, and the earlier films, they're very like they're almost like coming of age. They have that feeling where like it's a bunch of kids hanging out and very charming. And then you get Prisoner of Azkaban, directed by Cuarón, which is it could be the best, honestly.
I think it is.
It deals with time travel. It's a lot of people's number 1. It's in my top 3. I have to rewatch them to really solidify it. But Goblet of Fire is just badass. You have like
it's so good.
The Triwizard Cup, I believe it's called. I could be wrong. I think that's right. But it was awesome. You see Voldemort for the first time, like as Voldemort. And then from there, 5 and 6 are good. They're really good. But the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is one of the best conclusions. So, I mean, I would go great just because as a whole, it's not only one of the most iconic franchises, but like it's based on the books that I think a lot of people read. So I'd have to go great with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I rewatched these movies. I rewatched them for the first time. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, just to kind of check them out. I bought them at Best Buy, and I was like, let's check these movies out. And the first Harry Potter, well, I think the acting's a little cheesy. I still enjoy it quite a bit. I thought the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, whichever one people call it, I love the end scene with the big snake and all that, you know. I'm not the big Harry Potter fan, so I don't know all the terms. Prisoner of Azkaban, the werewolf fight with Mysterious Black, is that his name, right? I believe.
Sirius Black, yeah.
Sirius Black, there it is, yeah. And like you said, was it the Goblet of Fire? That's the
you got Robert Pattinson too.
It's kind of like Hunger Games and Harry Potter mixed on this one almost. It's crazy. But then I think Order of the Phoenix and what's the 5th one? What's that one called? Prince. I can't watch those, man. It's a snoozer for me. I'm gonna skip these 2 movies, and then Deathly Hallows Part 1 I think is really great qualities, but Deathly Hallows Part 2 is fan service to the max, action packed, and you get one of the best things ever. And AJ pointed this out to me. Shout out AJ Reacts 2. that Neville pretty much killed Voldemort because he killed the snake with a sword, and that was like the last tying life form to Voldemort. So that's where he comes from. I was like, not bad. So I think Harry Potter is great. I'm a Lord of the Rings over Harry Potter, but I think Harry Potter is a really great franchise for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Mission Impossible. I'm gonna say this. This franchise is amazing. I think every Mission Impossible movie just gets better.
I don't think it's amazing. I think it's great. But the reason being is the second Mission Impossible, it really holds the franchise back. But the first one is a classic, like especially I think it was Brian De Palma directed it. So like it really seeing like this unique spy movie. It has John Voight and Tom Cruise is like an action hero all of a sudden. So that's really good. MI3 with J.J. Abrams and Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace. That's a very, very good movie. But then 4, 5, and 6 are like stellar movies. So I mean, I'd be willing to go amazing. They do keep getting better. Fallout's amazing. Rogue Nation, fantastic.
Oh my god.
Ghost Protocol, the Burj Khalifa scene, everyone knows it. I mean, my palms are getting sweaty thinking about it. So like, 5 out of these 6 movies are really, really good, and then 2 is just like meh. So like, I'd be willing to go amazing, but it's between great and amazing. So
I think we have to go great, just because look at all these classic franchises we have in great. And if Mission Impossible went above those, I think we'd be doing a disservice to ourselves.
Yeah.
But Fallout is one of my favorite action movies of all time. Can't over. Sometimes it's kind of like annoying when like Ethan Hunt keeps getting away, like he barely makes it across traffic, and then the cops will get stopped by cars. Something that's annoying. But that helicopter scene, Henry Cavill is the bad guy, and that bathroom scene, that's some of the best choreography I've ever seen in a movie. Oh my god, yeah, his shirt changed. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where he throws 2 fists up and his shirt pocket comes. He wears it's funny. But I think Mission Impossible movies are great. I got to revisit the second one because I don't remember it being as bad as everyone says. But I'm excited to I'm gonna rewatch this franchise later. Maybe later this year we can do a ranking video of Mission Impossible movies.
For sure, yeah, I'd be down.
I'm down to rank all these franchises because I love all these movies so much. So yeah, it'd be fun. All right, Shrek.
I've only seen the first 2 Shrek movies,
and that's all you need to see.
And the first one is like, it's a good movie. Like, I didn't really grow up with it. I know it's a classic to a lot of people, but it's a good movie. But Shrek 2 is significantly better, especially with Puss in Boots and the I need a hero.
I know.
So, I mean, like, Shrek 2 is a great movie. So, like, I'd go good, but I heard that 3 and 4 are okay.
I think is there not 5 Shreks? I don't know. I knew that Puss in Boots did a spinoff. I love Shrek, the first one. I think it's hilarious. Shrek and Donkey, and when they go save Fiona from the castle, I think it's one of the best animated scenes. I think it's a really great scene in general. But then you go Shrek 2, where Shrek turns human, and I think that's just so funny. I don't know why, but I like when he's like on the big gingerbread man. That is so funny. And the I Need a Hero scene is so cheesy, dumb, but beautiful all at the same time. It's like, oh wow, I'm digging this. And after that, I mean, these movies were just popular and they were making money, but Shrek 1 and 2 were good. The rest are bad. And if we're going like that, this has to go meh, I think, dude. Just because of how there's if there's only 4, there's 50-50. 2 are good, 2 are not very good. So I'm
totally fine with that, yeah.
Meh. And don't get me wrong, I love the first 2 Shrek. I do. But after that, I don't watch those other ones. Like, those don't exist to me. I think a lot of Shrek fans can say that. So last and not least, not the Pixar franchise, who we agree that's more of a studio. This is the Toy Story franchise. The 4 Toy Story movies in this.
Yeah, bouncing off that, I think this is like the definitive Pixar franchise easily. It's like Pixar's creme de la creme. All right, it's their crown jewel. So that Toy Story trilogy, the first 3 is quite possibly my favorite trilogy. Like, I really would have to think about it. It's probably number 2 or 3. Like, I adore it. Sure. And I think it had a beautiful, perfect ending. And then Toy Story 4, I didn't think was necessary, but when I went into it, I walked out and I really did enjoy it. I think that the ending, it's powerful. I didn't think they could get me again, and they did it. Pixar went and did it. I still don't think that Toy Story 4 is like it's not amazing, you know, but like I honestly think that the Toy Story franchise is amazing. I really do. So
I have to agree wholeheartedly. And when I went into Toy Story 4, I was the same as you. I'm like, why are we doing this? Because Toy Story 3 ends perfectly. At least in my opinion, it does. Why are we getting Toy Story 4? But then we get characters like Ducky, Bunny, and Duke Kaboom, Canada's greatest stuntman. That was something I didn't know I needed. And when I got it, I loved it. I fell in love with this movie. I thought it had a great villain who you can sympathize with what's her name? I forget the little doll's name in the movie, but you really sympathize with her, like she was forgotten and all these things.
Gabby.
And you get Gabby. There it is. Such a weird name too. And Woody. It's just like Woody and Bo Peep's story. That was kind of my only problem with it, is that the rest of the characters are definitely put to the side. But Woody and Bo Peep become lost toys together. It's almost like a romantic movie in sorts, you know. And I love the Toy Story movie so much. Toy Story 3 is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. It's my favorite Pixar movie of all time. And Toy Story 4, I didn't think it was nearly as good as Toy Story 3, but I thought it was right up there. My least favorite was the Toy Story movies, but that's saying the other Toy Story movies are great. So I think the Toy Story franchise inside of the Pixar studios is amazing. And I think those three up there are three franchises I will hold dear to my heart for the rest of my life. That's for damn sure.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
So
I
there you guys
seriously
have
do
it.
love that franchise.
I really do enjoy all of these. Twilight's obviously the only one bad, and that's probably the one I will never rewatch. So minus Twilight, I really enjoy the rest of these franchises. I would say we can go ahead and rank these from our favorites to least favorite, but that'd be kind of hard. So it's your call there, or we can just call it a day.
I mean, that'd kind of be hard off the top of our head, I guess.
Sure.
But
Yeah, so there you guys have it. Big shout out to Chris from Filmstock for joining me. Make sure to go subscribe to his channel and join us this Wednesday as we go live. If you guys are still watching, this is definitely going to be a long video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.